Today we meet Jan, a 50-year-old Swedish man who spent years working long hours in mechanical jobs, always pushing, always chasing the next task. Eventually the pace caught up with him, and burnout made him rethink everything. Instead of returning to the life that drained him, he moved back to the forest where he grew up and began slowly building a campground from scratch. In our conversation, Jan shared how he rebuilt his work and life, what he has learned as a father, and why he believes we often spend too much time chasing more without stopping to ask ourselves what and why we're chasing.
That I really try to be there for her, meaning that it's for me also, because I was chasing pretty much what everybody are chasing, and I didn't question that. I just did it. Just try to enjoy, and this big thing that everybody kind of chasing in a way, I think, this which is super hard, but just being here and now, which is the only thing that's really existing. My name is Jan, 58 years old this year, in October. I had my own business for now, 34 years. So I had another business before I kind of started this campground. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long and twisty road to here. But I found it out on the way that I have a passion for making this happen, and I'm also kind of a sucker for seeing other people enjoying themselves in something that I created, and that's very addictive. I bought these houses here, which came out for sale a few years before I finally managed to buy them. But I managed to buy them in 1999. And the first year was 2000, and I started. Yeah, it's hard to, but it's just by the beach here. It was a small spot. And I didn't really know what to do with that. You know, it's like, okay, we'll see where it goes. There was a small cabin by the lake, and we fixed that, and I put electricity in there and made it nice. And for me, that's a big energy source to have that. And also, of course, people that come here, they are on their holidays, so they're in a good mood, and and most of the times we have good weather and it's nice here. That kind of adds up to a very nice atmosphere here. For myself, I mean, like you said before, I mean, you have ups and downs in life, and it's not always easy in life. And it's been a struggle to build this business because it's so expensive, everything. Be able to make it happening in the long run, it's tough. And also, I mean, I was married for 24 years, I think, with a great woman, but it was... You need to be almost crazy to just keep going because it's so much work, and you really need to love that part.
You built this whole place up by yourself?
Pretty much, yes. Of course, the first 10 years or even longer, my ex-wife, she was also working hard on it, but she kind of get fed up. Of course, I grew up here. So this belongs to the family farm. So where the campground is now, that's where I used to fetch the cows for my dad when I was a kid. And I always kind of liked it here. In a way, I've been fortunate. I had a red education, and I had easy to work on mechanical things, like repairing on big fabrics and so on. If something breaks, I can, they call me, probably through another business, and I kind of always made good money on that kind of work. And many of my friends in the beginning, they were, of course, supportive to my hobby, which is this, because usually I got rented myself out to a project, then maybe worked there for 3 weeks, and then I could have 3 or 4 weeks until next project somewhere. It's a lot of good energy here.
Yeah.
And that's very addictive, you know. And be able to, like I said before, they're creating something that they love and you get a lot of credit for. That's like very, like, I want more of that. You know? Yeah. So that's my drive.
So when you see your guests here being happy, like enjoying the place, you really feel proud, also feel the achievement.
It's like I'm taking part of that. You know, if I have a family sitting there in the evening and it's this perfect evening, and I have a barbecue, you know, maybe they're grandparents, and it's like a big family, and they just have like a blast. You know, it's like I'm taking part of that.
Yeah.
I really feel joy.
Yeah, that's very
seeing
beautiful.
that. That's hard to beat, you know, for me. And also now since COVID, I haven't had any help. I mean, I have my family a little bit, but I've been doing it myself here, and that also gives me more freedom in the winter because I don't have to go out and work with so much other things. Because when I had people hired here, there was not really enough turnover to pay me the whole winter. So I needed to, you know, but now since I'm living on very little myself, I don't need much. I can have that freedom. And that's another drive for me, to have a few months where you do what you want, even if the hard thing is to turn your head off, because when you are pretty much living in your business, you kind of never taking real off. So you need to work on that too. Today I have a day off, and that goes okay most of the time, because you always see things when you're out walking, like, oh yeah, I should have, and then I can do
here
that.
I can do something.
Yeah. You know. But it's also if you can switch that in your head to something positive and don't get stressed over it, it's actually quite a good feeling too. And another great feeling now, after this is my 25th season here, starting, that some of my visions that I've had now is reality.
For example?
I mean, the part past where the waterfall is, this little creek running through, of course it's not done yet, but I have opened up a small pond there that was there before, but now I cleaned it up and it's starting getting the plants that was a few of, it's a lot more. So it starts to look like what inside my head I had the vision of that it could look, and it's really nice. And it's a couple of years ago, it kind of struck me. I came hiking because I like walking. I take pretty much every morning the round up here. Did you do that?
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, very nice forest walk.
Yeah, I'm up by the bench up here with the viewpoint. I'm many times sitting there in the morning, meditating and just, not doing anything. But I came down and I saw what I was talking about, the park, or that I want to be a park with more different trees and stuff, but it's getting there. And it's like, it struck me like that the view I saw was close to my vision in my head. It's like, it makes something with you. You can create nature in a good way to keep it nature, but still push it in one direction a little bit. So
I can imagine you definitely like creation or like making things, right? Even your previous job before you had this, it's also about like making things, like fixing things. Because I also walk around, I see there are a lot of details everywhere, like the little lamps you put on the way going to the, like I see there's a lot of like love in this place.
Yeah, it is. It's good that it gets noticed. The thing I feel sometimes that can stress me is the time, because the day sort of feels too short. You know, you wake up. I wake up normally quite in between 5 and 6, so then I have time for I do exercise every other day, just a little bit to not fall to pieces with myself, and then every other day I take the walking in the forest, a morning thing. That's my morning routine. And then start early, but still now it's soon 6 o'clock, and I was like, okay, that's all right. It's just, I love doing things and create things. Now I finished benches where you do the dishes over in the service house, which has been on the menu for quite some time. And it feels good, it's also a good payback. And that's another thing that I do. Instead of renting a carpenter or renting someone who paints, I do it myself. And the money I before made, I paid someone to do it because I didn't have time then so much. And now I do it myself instead. And that's feels good, even if it takes, of course, longer time, but that I have.
Yeah, you have the sense of you are making everything.
Yeah, I'm creating this. I have room for it, but there's a thing that happens, and I already saw it with the restaurant. That was too much because I didn't have time for what I love, talk to my customers.
Yeah.
Because then I was just organizing and now I have time for this. I have time to talk with a customer that comes, and I have a passion for many things. One thing was been lifelong is motorcycling. I'm totally, I'm crazy. My girlfriend now, she says, you're like a kid on Christmas because this spring I repaired my bike. I had to depart, and we had been travel partners for quite some years now, 18 years, the same motorcycle. I love it. And when it was done and I fixed it, and the first trip I was like, and I still have it. And if I find the same people here, we can talk a long time about motorcycles. And I'm really passionate about that because I'm very easy to get in contact with people. And I never really feel lonely. And when I ride, I love to be lonely. I love to be in that bubble or whatever. Because I realize the more I do, I also do guiding here. I did that for some years, but I never feel comfortable with that. And that's the only thing that's existed. Yeah, so it's like very seriously active meditation in a way.
Yeah.
And especially I love going on small dirt roads. That's my thing. So that's what I pretty much did all the way to Turkey. So it took a bit longer time. But it's super nice. And I've been doing that, pretty much since 40 years now. But I said that, and this is dangerous now, I start talking motorcycles, but I'm going to try to 4 hours later. But I used to race motorcycles in the forest, like motocross, but they were... meaning the twisty that goes to...
like there in the forest, it was like meeting a trail. I don't know if it's like a car trail or...
it is... Well, I have a little track since my older daughters were younger. So we had a track here. I had on my old forest, I had a track that was 12 kilometers long, which I practiced a lot. So, but back then it started with, first of all, that I got technically quite good to handle a bike. And then when I was 16, I got my first Honda 125 cc. It was a Honda MTX. And I know that summer, first I worked my butt off to get the money for it. I worked for my father, I worked for the neighbors, I cut grass, I did everything. And I remember so much, I think the costed then in Swedish kroner was 12,000 kroner, which was like too much money. And I think I managed to get close to 10,000 kroner. And then my father paid the last 2,000 for it. And it was like unbelievable freedom on that. And the first summer I did 20,000 kilometers on that thing in 6 months. So I pretty much lived on that. I didn't have my father so much that summer. And then this passion really started, and it's still there. So that's a big thing for me. And now in the 17th of this month, it's a Yamaha Tenere club that comes here. There are 150 motorcyclists. And that's a first for me to have that, but that's another vision I have to get more of my passions into this. But it's too big event for me, so I rent it out with the catering and everything, because I can handle, with help, 50 people with food and make it good. But if it's 150, that's over my head. I don't have the resources, but I'm really looking forward to that. And now it looks like the weather is going to be good, so that's also promoting the right people to come here.
Yeah.
And hopefully with the right weather, it will really...
When will that happen?
17th, so that's a week and a half from now.
Oh, wow.
So that's a big thing for me. That's my first bigger event. Like that. I had events, but not over 50. And I'm looking forward to that, because that's it's key persons in the right sector of motorcycling from whole Europe, Spain and France and everywhere. Yeah, it's coming more and more of that, since that's the last. My passion has been like the new thing on motorcycles. They drive something called TET, which is Trans-European Trail, and it's fun because my passion is like the new passion now, with this off-road or dirt roads riding. And I'm living in a place here. I mean, the road system in Sweden, I don't know if it's correct, but I read somewhere it's around 60% of the road net. It's dirt roads in Sweden, and it's quite a lot of asphalt. So it's a lot of nice roads. But of course, it's a bit hazardous. So yeah, but it's also fun. I meet more of like-hearted people, you know. And also my motorcycle is one of these icons for that type of ridings, which is fun. So they're like, oh, you have an HP2, oh my God. You know? So yeah. No, that's like you asked there about, of course, it's kind of stopping me a little bit from riding in a way, but since I'm living here where it's just outside my door, I have the perfect roads for what I want to do. And I'm not too keen on going like super far away. I mean, I'm a homeboy. I love it here. I love to go for 2 or 3 days with a tent and do that. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I want to make it happen. But I get my passion out here with motorcycle riding also. I mean, I can go up. Now, this time of the year, it's light from 3:30. I mean, I go up a little bit earlier, like 4:30 in the morning, and then I take a trip for 4 hours or something, 4 or 5 hours, and I'm home 9:30, and I start working again, and I got that out.
It's great you can keep both passion.
Yeah,
like,
and it's easy, and it feels good. You know, I get that, but that's really nice for me, and it took many years before I realized what it was I was hooked on. Now I'm not necessarily going fast, I can do that, but I'm also enjoying scenery and just sitting there and going somewhere. I have like 5 or 8 spots where I go, you know, you go to this little road, that ends up in a little trail, that ends up very little trail, and ends up by a lake, and there's absolutely nobody there.
Yeah.
And then you can go when it's nice weather, or, you know, you can drop your clothes and you just swim a little bit and you just exist. I don't know if I getting old or what, but I don't really necessarily need to go around the world to have my passion. I have it right here. I have Victoria, and then 1 week I don't have her. So we are separated, me and her mom. But that works really good. You know, that was a fear for me, like, oh my God, now I have a small kid again. And it's like, oh, you know, but and it gives me so much that I didn't expect. But of course, she's an easy kid, and she grew up here. I had her since very early. She was with me on my arm, and I did this. And so she knows the drill here. And it's also creating for her, like for many others, also a lot of freedom. You saw me before. She rides on me. She has her own motorcycle. She can ride that too. And that's perfect here, you know. So it's a nice place that fits my needs here. Yeah. There's been a few, I would say. I mean, first time when I was not knowing there is a limit to how much you can work and how much you could exercise and how much you, with kids, family, I didn't feel or hear the signals that my body was sending. So I got my first, I should have more time for relaxing and stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, that added up to my body saying, okay, screw you, you're doing too much. I said, okay, Jan takes 3 weeks vacation, he needs that. So I got home and she said, like, you know, I managed, so you work tomorrow and then the next 3 weeks you're off, you need that, you just work. It's crazy what you're doing. And then I worked the last day and then I got back home and I was like, start just relaxing. And then that took a year and a half pretty much to get back on.
So you become very sick.
Yeah, I did way too much for a way too long time. Yeah. So it took a long time. And the good thing is that I finally realized that it's okay that I don't have the durability that I had before. I got tinnitus from work. That was tough. That was really tough to coping with this sound. I have it now too. It's like when I listen to it, it's like you're sitting in an airplane before taking off and you have this really high pitch sound, really sharp. And that took me some time. I didn't really sleep in quite some months. That was hard to make your brain accepting the noise or yourself, actually. So then a process started for me with going into myself. I got therapists. I got a lot of ways to deal with stress that I created, which didn't help. But through that, something really good came out. I had her for 8 years now, I think. But through that, I learned a lot about myself, which is good. I like she said, it's great for you. You started this early. Some people do it when they're 85, and that helped me a lot. I mean, I started yoga, meditating, exercising, but a morning walk, not going crazy in the kayak or running like, not like, okay, I need to do this, and just try to enjoy. And this big thing that everybody kind of chasing in a way, I think, this, which is super hard, but just being here and now, which is the only thing that's really existing. Of course, I could push my business to be more business, and out of that, a new way of me having this business came out. So there's always, I see it that way, a good thing coming out of things, if you choose to see that, and a lot more stress for me. So then you start thinking, why do I have a restaurant with all the stress? For what? I mean, of course it's nice for people to come here. I want to be able to have, like I can do now. I mean, I in the morning, I take care of customers until 11. I have a day off, kind of, and then I come home working again. So, and when I had people here and the restaurant, there's no way I couldn't do that. So
I see the transition very interesting. Like when you were younger, you're like super driven, super like overloaded, and always working too hard. Yeah. And now the way you treat your business, the way you treat your life in general, is way more chill than you were before.
I mean, it's so easy to get, I don't know what you say, get caught in this society-driven wheel of fortune. You're chasing this perfect, I don't know what it is, this thing that doesn't really exist, because you're always chasing like, well, if I do that, I can buy that car or that house, but this just keeps you going, because after some time, this new car is not feeling so.
You're never satisfied.
Not really. car I drive now from my neighbor. It costed me like 3,500 kroner, which is the price of. And I've been driving that for a couple of years now, and that's fine. And of course, with the motorcycle, I spend some money, but I do most of the work myself, which is another passion. and try to live off little, but it's a big challenge. You always need to remind yourself, like, okay, so where do I run now again? Why do I need to do that? Or can I wait until tomorrow that, And that's another thing with my young daughter. I have, again, there for her, meaning that it's for me also. Because with my other big kids, I have 4 daughters. Mm-hmm. I worked my butt off then when they were small, because I was chasing pretty much what everybody are chasing. And I didn't question that. I just did it. And I think that's, and what everybody should do is just stop up and question what's good for me. You survive with, nothing really. I mean, you don't need, but I know for my own sake, if I decide to do that, then I have to move away from here.
Yeah.
Because I cannot expect that the people, that would be a dream, that they inherit my passion, or they will probably do it more
commercial.
Which is what most do. But it's, So I don't know if that was answer to your question, but there's it's really hard, but it's, what most people are chasing is not there. It's in here, in yourself. Finding that, but that's hard. That's really hard, and I guess you need to try a lot. And that's a big one. Well, I mean, I might not be able to change that, but we're very close to my father in a way. This is of course a very common thing, but we were very close, but we were never really close. Mm-hmm. We were working great together. Mm-hmm. We were always working together. We worked in the forest, we worked on the farm. But I never really knew him. Mm. He had a big protection shield from his inner thoughts, even if I really tried in the end. But he got 90, close to 90. We were a lot like, but that is, I don't know if I could have changed that so much, but that's something that I wish that I could have had this deeper
connection
talk. When I grew up, he was always this safe haven. I could always sit in his lap. We were never rejected as kids. Mm-hmm. He had this unbelievably big heart, but I never really knew, and that's something that strikes me sometimes. A person that really affected me a lot in many ways. I never really knew, even if I knew him or not. At least one of them, but it's something that comes to my mind now. Yeah. That's
so it's very difficult to really have this conversation going on.
I think that's a good thing now. It is changing. Yeah. I mean, my father died 7-8 years ago. He was 90, so he was from the old school. Yeah. And there was even, you were supposed to have a shell, at least here, and tough. And he was a tough guy. I remember he did the farming, he cut his hand, and he was like, just put some wraps on it, and he finished the job. And he got to the doctor and said, "You're crazy." It was like just open the whole hand. It's like, yeah, but I need to finish the job, If I do that, I would be like, an ambulance. So there were different breathe in that way, you know. So, so they, yeah, but that's the way they were raised, I guess, you know. But that would be so nice to be having this inner thoughts about more, you know. So.
One thing I found very beautiful of, so consider the interview officially finished, but I interviewed a girl, like it's a friend of me, and then I posted her video, and then her dad messaged me like, thank you, Mason, thank you. I feel like I never know my daughter so well before. There are a lot of things that you share, but you don't share with your family. Like a lot of stories or a lot of what you actually go through or what you are actually thinking. I hope this sort of like this channel, this documentary type of like talks, we talk a lot of things, right? I hope maybe one day it will also help your daughter to see you better, to say, hi, my old man is like this. Maybe there's the side that I never know.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, and it's like, I want to, but it's so easy to fall into your role, or I'm the father. I mean, I have 3 beautiful adult daughters also. Totally love them. But it's like, yeah, I think we talk, but always everyday things more.
Yeah.
I mean, even if we can, especially with the oldest, we're more easy with that. But it's over periods. Some periods you talk a lot, more intimacy, but yeah. But I think, like you said, it's in the family. You have this. I see it, you know, when I'm a really good friend with my ex-wife. We were together for 25 years, and it's great. We can be together with the birthday parties, or but you see it when we are, because we worked a lot together, and we were a good team. As soon as we're together, we find this old role that we created then, and you do that in the family. So yeah, it's easy, and to actively break that, I think that's. But you need to be active in your thoughts, like, okay, I don't need to, I can step outside. And this is, of course, a good way of doing it. Yeah. Like showing that we're very much the same, all of us. We have the same thoughts, and, you know.